Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to make my vegan key lime pie. So the first things we're going to need here is a crust. So I'm using this accidentally vegan graham cracker crust. It's a 10-inch. You definitely want a 10-inch. It is going to be pretty big. I have a whole bag of key limes here. I'm going to use all the juice of this. But basically we're trying to use a cup. We're trying to get a cup. And you don't have to use key limes. You can use normal limes. I just find that these are more tart, in my opinion. And we want a zest. So we want a tablespoon of zest for inside of the filling. And then if you want, you can have extra zest for the top. Xanthan gum to help thicken. We want some xanthan gum to help thicken the cream that is going to be folded in. We want vanilla extract. If you don't have that, like me, I'm going to be using vanilla bean paste. We want some sweetened condensed coconut milk. So I have two different kinds here, a small can and a big can. We basically want 500 grams. This is a little over, but that's okay. It's a little flexible. It's not a big deal. And then you want 2 cans of coconut whipping cream. Now these are chilled. I just took them out of the fridge. So it's 800 ml, and we just want the cream. If you have coconut milk or whatever, you're just going to want to use the cream. You're not going to want to use the liquid in it. So none of the watery bits. So we're going to zest and juice our limes first. Now you always want to wash your citrus before you zest it, and keep in mind some citrus is coated in beeswax. So if that's something that's a concern to you, you might want to buy organic. That usually is a safe bet. All right, we've got our limes zested. And do be careful when you zest not to get your fingers. They are very, very small and hard to handle. So we zested the limes, and I know you're wondering, do I have to zest them? No, you don't. I think it adds such a good flavor though, so I do highly recommend it. You might also be thinking, can I use lime juice in a bottle? Yeah, absolutely you can. However, I find that it tastes better when you use fresh limes, and especially if you use the lime zest. So now that we've got all of our limes zested to the best of my ability, we're going to juice them. All right, and our limes are all juiced, and we got a cup of juice. There are seeds and pulp in here, but that is okay because we're going to pour it over a fine mesh sieve as we add it into our mixtures. All right, so with our wonderful stand mixer with the paddle attachment, we're going to go ahead and pour in our 2 cans of sweetened condensed coconut milk. We're looking for 500 grams. This is a little over, but that is okay. You just want to make sure that it's cold. You can chill this too. You can chill the condensed coconut milk too if you would like. Mine was pretty cold already because it's just cold in my house because of the air conditioning. Now you might be thinking, what if I can't find sweetened condensed coconut milk? Well, you can make your own actually, and you can do something other than coconut milk if you don't like coconut milk, but I do recommend the coconut milk because I really like the way it complements the lime. All right, now that we got all of our sweetened condensed coconut milk in here, we're going to add in our whole cup of lime juice and our tablespoon of lime zest. And make sure that you use that sieve to catch all our little bits and bobs. There we go. And our tablespoon of lime zest. All right, now we're going to mix this together until it's well incorporated. What we're looking for here is we don't want any chunks of the coconut not incorporated into our mixture. All right, this is looking pretty good. So we're going to transfer this to another bowl. And we're going to go ahead and pop this in the fridge and let it cool while we get our coconut whipped cream. All right, so I opened up my 2 cans of chilled coconut whipping cream. So we don't want that liquid. We only want the fatty part. So if it makes it easier for you, you can use a mesh strainer to strain out the water and then add only the whipped cream. We went ahead and scraped out our bowl, but we're just going to use the same mixing bowl, but we are going to change our attachment to the bloom whisk. All right, once you got all of your coconut cream out with as much or as little as coconut water as possible, we're going to go ahead and close that up, and we're going to whisk this up for a little bit, and then we'll add our vanilla extract and our xanthan gum. All right, this is looking perfect. We're gonna go ahead and add our teaspoon of vanilla. That's okay. Let that get incorporated for a minute. And I know what you're thinking. Could I use vegan heavy whipping cream? Yeah, you probably could. I haven't used it, but I would say if you're going to, you would only need like 1 container of either the Country Crock or the, I think it was Silk that did one too. I wouldn't use more than that. And like I said, I like the coconut and the lime, but if that's not your thing, you could always use, they also have like, Nature's Charm has like, I believe, a sweetened condensed oat milk too, if you don't like the coconut. Now we're increasing our speed to really whip that up, and we're gonna add our half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. We added our first mixture to this mixture, and we're just mixing it together till it's well incorporated. All right, now we're gonna pour it into our pie crust. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to sprinkle on the remaining lime zest. Oh, and look how beautiful she is. Now we're going to pop this bad boy in the freezer and let her freeze. All right, you guys, and there she is. After being in the freezer overnight, she looks gorgeous. So she's going to be a little soft. This is definitely something you want to keep in the freezer and then take out as you need. But oh my goodness, is she packed full of flavor. And she's light and fluffy, yet still decadent, sweet and tart, and refreshing. I hope you guys give this one a try. Enjoy.